Okay, folks. Well, I just couldn't sleep, so you probably knew that. This was bothering me being crooked here, our latch. So, since it hadn't had time to cure yet, and I took a little punch and a hammer and got it knocked off. Very little effort since it wasn't cured. So it's reattached, repositioned, and now I'm happy. It's 90 degrees to the stack, it's not crooked, and I'm happy. Very nice. Put this puppy back together, huh? So, first thing we should do is take out our screws. Our drivers have to go in first. So we'll get this disassembled. All right, I swung it around this way, so give myself some working room here. Go ahead and get our driver set in place here, if we can. Start with our center one. If you remember, I marked these with a black marker to keep the journals up the way they came out. So these are our center ones right here. All right, there's that one. And then we got the rear set here. Get those positioned. All right, that dropped in quite nicely. All right, let's spin these around to our black dots. There they are. All right, there we go. All right, let's give everything a shot of oil before we go any further. As you can see, I took the rods off. I cleaned everything with mineral spirits, and but I didn't do the drivers. I didn't give them a bath. I did them by hand with a Q-tip. I wasn't too keen on soaking these traction tires in mineral spirits, so I just did everything by hand. All right, let's get all our axles oiled up here. All right, it's got to go in here. There. Now it fit on there nicely. Okay. So we'll get our screws reinserted. All right. Get that one dropped into here. Leave everything loose until we get them all in. All right. And one more. All right, now we can tighten them up. Crisscross pattern. All right, there we go. Very good. So that's that. There's our wheels. All right. So we might as well, while we're under here, oil our pickup roller ever so slightly. Just a tiny bit. Very good. All right, so that part's done. All right, we're going to get our side rods back on again. So get our wheels spun around here. Let's see, that one's towards the front. All right. These screws that hold these on, you can see they have a little nylon bushing on there. Let the rod run in. It's wound in here. Snug them up. Okay, it's still loose a little bit. That's good. We'll get another screw on our driver here. Get our wheel positioned. This way. Oh. And let's just see if I can drop it in there. All right. Sorry about that. I got these wrist weights on my hands, trying to keep my hands from shaking, my arms. And it's an experiment, see if it'll calm these tremors down. I don't know if it'll work. They're wrist and ankle weights, but seems to work. It's I'm having to use my muscles to fight the tremor to hold that weight, so I don't know, we'll see. Okay, there's that one. Let's spin her around. Get this one on. Always make sure you are pointing up. Otherwise, all your oil and grease would fall out, right? All right, let's try this. Get a little snug. Oh, lost that one. All right. There's that. Everything's working good. Very good. So there's that set of side rods back on. All right, there we go. Let's go for our cylinders here. Oh, not that way. Yeah. to make sure that our cylinders are facing the right way. All right. Okay, our holes are matching up, so that's good. Let's get our front truck brace on there. Get those holes guided in, or screws guided into the holes. Let's see here, I need a screwdriver. Yeah, it seems to do better if I lift my hands away from the resting on the workspace here. Let the weights do their job. If I rest my hand down, then everything starts shaking, and so I think this might be the answer to help me with these shakes. It's not often you see me do a slotted screw without a slip. All right, there's that one. And that one. Okay. And our center hole here, that's for the screw to hold the front of the boiler on. Okay. Let's grab our Phillips head then. Get these two screws on. And we'll put our cow catcher assembly back on. Okay. So turn her upside down again. Slide her into there. Get the holes positioned right. All right, let's get our screw and lock washer in place here. Get that tightened up a bit. All right. All right, let's try to get this screw in here. Set it in there carefully. All right, there we go. Drive that home. And that. All right, very nice. So that's straighten our ladders up here. Okay, that takes care of that. All right, let's get a little closer here. Start putting on our cross slide assembly, and this also provides support for our valve gear rods. All right, so let's see, we gotta, well, you gotta make sure these holes And the cross slide support mate up with the holes, these raised bosses right here. Let's see if we can, where is it? There it is. Okay, right there at the end of the cylinder. Okay, so that'll go in those holes. So we got to try and guide everything together. Let's get our rods up and out of the way. Let's see, we don't need our wire there. Tilted under everything. All right. Got the back side over our cylinder. And there's the front side. Excellent. And then this also supports the boiler with this bar here. All right. So let's get a screw started there. We can find the hole. Oh, there it is. All right. There's that screw. Remember, leave everything loose until you get it all put in, all the screws put in. All right, get that down nice and tight. Tighten this one. Let's flip her over a little. Give a little tightening on these for the cross slide supports, guides. There we go. All right, everything's locked into place. Excellent. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. Get our wires out of the way again. I think the next thing we can put in is our piston rod, which we have right here. And once again, in order to get these in, let me get this up out of the way, if I can. All right, got to move these side rods back. So, all right, once again, making sure this boss is pointing up. All right, slip that in there. Guide it into our cylinder here. There we go. And we can put that on our crank there once we get everything in position. All right, we got to get our spacer here. We have a couple spacers. Okay. I dropped the spacer, of course. There we go, I found it. All right, that's on there. Get our drive rod on. Like that. And then these, you'll notice in the center pin here, we have a groove. And then on the other side, I'll show you on this one, since it's facing the right way. See if we can zoom in here a bit. You can see on either side of the screw here, there's a mate to that groove. It's very small, but it's there. Okay. So that'll go into the groove of our main crank pin here. Find out which way it's facing. There, that way. There it is. All right. Okay. So, what we got to do here, we got those mated up. Let's see if my calculations are correct. When our piston rod is almost all the way in, this should be almost to the rear. Okay. That looks right. Turn a little more so we can get our screw in there. Snug that up a bit. All right. Let's see if, yep, we're all free. Okay, seems to be working quite nicely. Excellent. Very good. So we'll turn her around. And then this one, let's see, we got to move our side rod back out of the way. Let's put our bushing on first. Like that. Get our cross slide into the guides. And guide her into the cylinder. Thusly. Get it onto our center crank pin. And then get our groove lined up here. right, there's that. Okay, we're all mated again. Alright, we do it right, it looks like it. Everything's working nice. Alright, very good. Very nice.